Hello, and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including OKKO, which we'll be talking about today. I'm your host, Alex Bonilla, and today I'm joined by Michelle Anderer.
Hello.
And Steve Zeck.
Hi.
Today we are getting together to talk about the end of Season 2 of OKKO, the last 6 episodes that were released online near the end of, or at the middle of June here. We have to cover Gar Trains Punching Judy, Beach Episode, OKAU Alternate Universe, KO's Health Week, Rad's Alien Sickness, and Dark Plaza. You can find our previous OKKO coverage at overlyanimated.com. You can always subscribe to us on iTunes at overlyanimated.com/iTunes. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, and wherever you listen to us. We always appreciate ratings and reviews that you'd like to leave us. But yeah, we've got, whenever we come to talk about OKKO, it feels like we've got a lot of different stuff to talk about. So as usual, we'll begin with our general thoughts on the batch of episodes. This time it's a little different since we got a 22-minute special at the end here. But Michelle, let's go to you first. General thoughts on the batch, something that stood out from the group. How are you feeling?
In general, I feel like this is a pretty, I don't want to say normal batch of episodes because I really like them, but I do think like it's a pretty OKKO mix of like you got some really high points, you got like some really zany ones, you got some ones like kind of in the middle where it's like they're good. Do they stand out? Moments of them do. As a whole, your mileage might vary, but I think that's fine because it's all good. Yeah.
Okay. Steve, how do you feel about this group?
Oh, this episode gave me like some nice surprises and gave me stuff I didn't know I wanted until I got it. Mm-hmm. Mainly the AU episode. I did not know I wanted to see the Boxmore robots as humans. And they gave it to me, and I'm so glad they did. Raymond and Shannon especially, oh my god, they look great.
I was shocked by Raymond's human form. Yeah. Like, I know how they're going to do it, and then I was just like, wow, what a difference.
Yeah, and it's just me, though, Enid's robot form reminded you of that old Nickelodeon show about the teenage robot.
Yeah, she does look like that robot. She definitely does.
It's probably intentional. And I guess Dark Plaza, technically, that's an episode that has LD and Red action in the same place. So I guess I sort of got my wish, kind of, though it's not really what I had in mind. But still, what else? Though I do think though we're getting more bonding with the Boxmore robots. They seemed not outright villainous in these episodes. They seem more bonding with our heroes. They are the most Team Rocket-like in these batch of episodes than they've ever been before, so.
Yeah. Well, especially in Beach episode, right? Before they get corroded by the sand or the water and it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, and Boxman's like goofiness is definitely rubbing off on Venomous and Fink. Oh yeah. I love that episode, so. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only part I remember about the episode. I don't remember much about the hero side of that stuff, the Rad's sickness. I just know he was sick. Mm-hmm. And Health Week was a nice little like calm before the storm episode because we're gonna have the big finale. But it's all right.
Health Week is the other one where the bots are a bit friendlier than usual.
Yeah.
And Daryl even kisses KO goodnight.
Aww.
Yeah, that was sweet. I think I agree with the idea that like this batch is representative of what OKKO is when it's good. It's got its zany moments, it's got its emotional moments, especially in like the finale and a couple of other episodes spread out here. And like they're still like doing weird experimental stuff too, like the alternate universe episode. We've got one that's just like totally a health PSA the entire way through, and so they're just kind of like really doing whatever they can to make the episodes continue to feel unique than like sticking to the robot of the day scenario. So I applaud them for that, and I think that it gets some good moments out of it. Like, is there a great episode? I'm not sure, but like there are definitely funny moments spread throughout, and I think that's pretty good, all things considered. That I think we can probably find like good laughs that I had in each of these episodes. So I think that's a success.
And, I kind of feeling though, maybe end of the series though, we're going to do a Pinocchio thing with the robots, that they're going to actually going to become like living beings, humans. I mean, we saw the beginning last time with Jetro. They have their own dreams, their own aspirations. Like Raymond has his own personal vendetta against the wave, against the shark. So
that's true.
Yeah, they're becoming more independent. So I think things are going to come like a collision course with Boxman's his ideology of them just being his like just being mindless robots, and them having their own individuality. So I'm not sure about Boxman himself, but I could definitely see by the end of the series his children are going to be, I guess, friends with KO and help them become living beings. So, and we saw in that that AU episode how messed up Boxman treats them when he just reboots them all the time, and I feel so bad for them. So
also, that's so expensive. Like, no wonder he's struggling with money in his business. He keeps like blowing them up whenever he gets frustrated. That's a lot of money to throw away every time rebuilding a new robot.
Yeah, I think we've been missing seeing just angry Boxman. I feel like we've been having a lot of sweeter Boxman recently. So
that's because of Venomous, though. Can you blame him?
Venomous was busy going out of town, and that's why he Boxman just let loose in that episode. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it.
Yeah. Besides, as an AU, I'm not sure Venomous exists in that world. Yeah. All we know in that world, Mr. Gar is the Boxmore's children's dad, and Boxman has no relation to anybody in the AU world. So
yeah. Well, Steve, something you did mention though, like talking about like the robots being nicer. Michelle, I want to get your thoughts. Like, do you think that's something that the show will like keep up as we go into next season? Like, as we'll talk about like other shifts we might get here, considering what the finale does. But I mean, while we're still on the topic of the Boxmore robots, like, do you think that we're gonna continue on them getting nicer, or what are we doing with them?
I mean, they could. I think if they did, though, it would be a very kind of slow thing. Like, maybe just more moments of niceness, like, sprinkled in every, like, 8 or so episodes. But, I mean... You can't ask me that, Alex.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know something? All I know is I want a happy ending for them. So
yeah, no, I do too. I hope they don't. They deserve a happy ending.
I hope they're not dead at the end of the series. That'd be a very major bummer.
Yeah. I don't think they killed them.
And like Daryl has been, getting more sweet. Raymond has had more moments. So it's just it's interesting to see that the show is like continuing to keep them in the picture and like kind of shifting their personalities towards the main gang a little bit. So that's good to see that they're not totally static, and so it helps keep you excited whenever the Boxmore bots show up.
And even Ernesto, I guess, showed some development.
Got upgraded to a tentacle monster. He got the worst upgrade. At least Jethro got a sense of purpose, but Ernesto, I don't know about that. That was very disconcerting when his eyeball popped out, and there's just this huge tentacle arm behind it.
And like KO and Enid were us like being very excited, like, yay, Ernesto's here. We haven't seen him in a while. I identified with KO and Enid in that moment.
Yeah, I thought you would. I was like, this is a very Alex kind of thing they're doing.
I guess we should talk about Dark Plaza since that's like the most plot relevant episode of this batch. Because this brings back points, it brings back Carol and Gar stuff. As Steve mentioned earlier, it brings back Elodie.
Yeah.
Steve, was Elodie your favorite part of this episode?
I don't know. Maybe I love how at the very end, how throughout the episode she was so reserved. She was so just, I don't know, she was just so, just calm. And then at the very end, she just let loose. She's the old Elodie we all know and love. Yeah. At the very end, she just, she was so chill the entire episode until the very end. And then she finally let loose her personality. So it's kind of weird throughout the episode seeing Elodie just so chill. So, but, and I'm glad that Gar and Carol, because the live reveal stuff did not break up because of it. It just did not come between them. They worked through it. So that's a very good message for TV shows that they can do. Doesn't always have to be so much drama. We can get around it.
Yeah, and also Mr. Gar and Carol, they've had their differences before, and this is just another bump in the road.
So I do have one major disappointing episode. Actually, maybe two. Okay, first of all, you didn't see any of the Boxmore robots get apart, but my real disappointment, though, I thought at the very end at the very last scene, we would see Shadowy Figure.
I was wondering about Shadowy Figure too.
And
where
just
the
heck
is he?
Yeah, at the very least to remind us that he's still out there.
Mm-hmm.
And while I think we were able to, talk to Foxtail and just redeem her, I don't think we're going to be able to do that with Shadowy Figure, or AKA Laser Blast, because I think he's done too much. It's been too much time has passed, and only way I think he can be redeemed is redemption death at this point. So.
Okay.
I'm sorry to bring y'all down.
KO doesn't deserve that.
There's a lot to take in there. Well, Michelle, how did you feel in general about the finale? And that you mentioned Shadow Figure is also something you wanted to see out of here. But how do you feel about how we handled this as a season finale type thing?
I think it's a really good season 2 finale. I mean, it's progression. Our kind of mini arc, I guess, this season was a lot of point specific stuff. Like Enid's whole mini arc in the middle even was all about point and how it's becoming sketchy and has been sketchy for a while.
And let's face it, it wasn't for Enid and her development she gave to the students in that arc.
Totally,
this would not happen. Elodie would not.
She convinced Elodie.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they first, the old adage, to change the world, sometimes you got to change the young mind first. And then that slowly builds up to the adults, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Elodie is the new head of Point, so
She is she is the Proxima of this show, only this time we're going to actually see what happens, so.
I guess, is Point still important now after this? Or is this, the end of Point being important?
I don't think it's the end, but they're definitely taking a backseat. The only, big cliffhanger is now Shadowy Figure, so I guess you gotta have something left.
I think it's over. Yeah. I think it's over with them being antagonists. I think they're just pure good guys for the final season. They're just gonna be allies. There's no, there's no, tension anymore, really.
Is Chip Damage still floating around? Or?
He's a robot.
Foxtail still had him before. I wonder where he is.
I worry maybe Shadowy Figure could get a hold of him and might do something with that. But, what did I want to say? Oh, yeah, now the Foxtail has retired. Hopefully maybe she can just chill out, go find a nice girlfriend, and just enjoy the rest of her days.
Yeah, we need to see the Foxtail retirement tour going on. Also, what this episode does at the end as well, because KO and Enid and Rad all help in defeating Point there. But at the end, Gar sets up that now they're real heroes and they can go on secret missions now. And I think that's also a sign that when we get to season 3, we'll probably go a bit more stuff outside the plaza, which is an interesting. Yeah. If we go in that direction, that seems like a very interesting way to go. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I'm excited. I think it means, though, hopefully, it means you can have more Eden and Elodie interaction doing stuff together, because since she's the head of Point and if they're going on missions, it's kind of unavoidable. So that's the part I'm most excited about. So.
I actually think that's possible.
Yeah. And maybe now that Elodie has a little more authority, and then maybe that's when we could have that tension with Red, because we know Red hates authority, and she had that tension with her old team, so I'm waiting for that episode, so maybe season 3. Don't say anything, Michelle, so just know anything.
Let's see here. I mean, in this episode, also, a big development is that the plaza is actually a giant mech. Reactions to this is, it basically looks like a giant Transformers, right?
It's got lady pronouns, though. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, I didn't use it before when I deal with Boxmen. So many times they could just crush Boxmen just like that if they wanted to. So
it's a big hassle to use a whole mecha. Like, all the stuff inside the store is probably destroyed, for one thing, so it really is a last resort.
Mm-hmm. And to activate it, we also had the return of balanced KO, or the TKO being summoned as well to do the power. So I want to say that it's interesting that KO for like the second half of this episode is just a battery.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, though, it seems Dendy might have a crush on TKO. I mean, first she had a crush on Rad, but now TKO, so she's getting closer to boys her own age. She's starting with the teenager, now
Can you elaborate? I missed this.
She was super excited to have when KO was going to go TKO, and he was going to go Turbo, so you see her face, she's excited, so I don't know, I think she might have a little crush on him, so I'm just saying. I gotta give me something, because we have very little Dendy lately. So
that's true. We've been kind of we've been lacking in Dendy coverage recently, but she was giving KO instructions on how to get to the battery, so that's something. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like other moments in this finale that stand out. I guess like the Mr. Gar Carol stuff when it happened was pretty emotional. Like you have Gar realizing that Carol is an agent and like expressing his anger at that. He walks away, and then you have them reuniting at the end, and they're like apologizing to each other as they're falling in the sky, and they hold hands and they elbow through the shield together.
Yeah, they both elbow it. That's great. Good culmination of their relationship.
Yeah, and then now they get to be KO's mommy and daddy.
I love that KO has a stepdad. It's so good.
And anything else from this episode that you guys want to talk about?
No.
KO has a really good control over, like, his and TKO's kind of, drifting has become pretty perfect now, and that's, more growth there too. He can master it now. He can stay in that position for a long time without it being a huge struggle, and that he couldn't have done that a season ago.
Well, this episode definitely reminds me a bit of the movie Captain America: Civil Wars, especially at the end when Boxman showed up. It's like, while you heroes were fighting amongst yourselves, you forgot about me, and that just feels a lot like Civil Wars. Just heroes fighting each other while villains just staying out of it for the most part. So
yeah, poor Boxman just showing up right at the end just to get punched out.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve it, but
sure. You could have done something sooner. I mean, I don't know were they on vacation when this happened, or they decided to take a 2-month vacation coincidentally while this thing was going on? I mean,
yeah, I don't know where Raymond was during this apocalypse, but Yeah, and also like we as mentioned, like this was like a 2 months time skip in the middle of this, and so we get the time skip, and there's like some resistance where they're all underground, and like KO is devising the plan with Dendy, and everybody's like in resistance uniforms, the crinkly wrinkly, with the plans, and there's just like lots of like little callbacks in this episode too. Like we also have the Colbert, the broccoli, he pulls out his key to the plaza from like the Olympics episode, and so so definitely like if all those like little details are good in the moment when it's like, oh, I remember that episode from a while ago.
Doesn't Broccoli have a romantic partner? It seemed. I was it a boy or a girl? I forget.
He was friends with the bunny, but I don't. Yeah. I mean, as far as I knew, they were just friends.
I remember second first date. Cupid sort of made some remark about them, like, "We want to take it slow."
Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about OKAU because this is a very interesting episode in terms of like just turning making a fanfic episode pretty much in your own show, where it's like switching the sides of the characters, and we give them all new designs, and you got the human Shannon, Daryl, and Raymond seems like something you'd find on like DeviantArt or Tumblr.
Yeah,
but like
it's probably there too. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
When I saw it, so I'm going all over Tumblr, DArt. I just want to see fan art reactions to this.
Who was your favorite of the alternates, Steve?
Well, obviously got to be Shannon. She's just like awesome, like doing like her best Eden impression, which I kind of thought was great. Raymond also looked cool, but he don't look that much different from his robot form. I mean,
I thought his face looked totally different in his.
I know, but I guess. Well, he always looked hot, so I just...
Yeah, but honestly, like, I don't think this is a hot take, but I thought Raymond looked way hotter as a robot than he does as a human.
Yeah.
Well, like, his human face looked a bit too... Like, it was, like, anime style, like, very pointy, and I'm not sure if, like, the pointiness works as a robot because, you know, metal and stuff, but exactly. Like, pointiness as a human face, it's a little different.
And I'm not sure what to make of Daryl with his one eye. It's just...
And he's got a little hat. Like, little kid hat with the propeller.
Did he always just have one eye in robot form?
Yes.
No, that's the thing. Why does he have one eye as a human? That's... What? I think it's hilarious, but it's also like, how does that work? How?
Well, you see, he has bad depth perception. That's how it works.
And you know, and often Bakeo and the others as robots, they look more robotic than normal than the Boxmore robots. When they're robot form, they look actually human.
Yeah,
so.
I felt that way too. Actually, they seemed like extra robot-y.
Yeah, and they got cool robot names like K0. It was EN1D, and Radicles was like it's supposed to be an acronym that nobody knows what it means. And so yeah, just seeing them like deal with the Shannon, Daryl, and Raymond didn't actually have much to do here. Like they're just told to like clean the store and like that's it. But then KO, Enid, and Rad are getting harassed by Boxman, which is unfortunate.
I kind of wanted to see what they were up to with Mr. Gar. I mean, was Gar just as abusive as Boxman? I just can't imagine that. So
it didn't seem like it. It honestly seems like the robots have a tougher life than the humans do.
Yeah,
because they kept getting rebooted and stuff. I mean, at least KO and them could take breaks, and Gar, like, he's like around the store, but he's not watching them all the time.
And when you have a family business, you can't really hard to get a union going. So
exactly.
Well, Jethro's trying.
Where were all the Jethros to like give KO and Enid and Rad support?
What would Jethro look like as a human? I wonder. Just like a very short man.
Like
in a suit, maybe.
Size?
Yeah.
And then like Ernesto, is he just like a large person with
Does
like
he
a
also
big
only
top
have
hat?
one eye? Yeah. I hope he would keep his hat.
So, don't they have a dog, like a robot dog?
Well, Michaela, wasn't she like doing the dressing up as a human thing
Mm.
in the furry episode?
I should have blocked.
I don't want to remember that, please.
Okay, fine. Sorry, Michaela, we can't talk about you because you're in the one episode they don't want to talk about. Yeah. So and then also notable at the end we get a very glorious mashup of Lord Garman and Mr. Boxgar. Like
that was wild.
That was a creepy ending.
We pointed out, I think, like me and Alex, when we were watching it, that they both have chicken arms, which is interesting. So are they like a perfect fusion of each other? They're like 50-50 each way.
Maybe.
That's scary.
Because, like, one doesn't seem more Boxman-y than the other. So what does that mean?
Have we ever talked about why Boxman has chicken arms?
No! I feel like last year or something, I had this theory that, like, he'd start off as a human and he had this, like, dark secret about, like, that's why he hates heroes, like, because of his dark past. And then he, like, ends up losing his arm and half his face, and so he gets, like, a chicken arm and starts, like, becoming a cyborg. And he has this whole backstory we don't know about. But we have no idea what that is yet, in canon, at least.
I always thought he accidentally mutated himself, but
like he mutated his arm into a chicken arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to do some kind of transmutation situation, or like trying to like combine himself with a chicken, maybe.
What's the power of a chicken? The plaza.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder when are we ever going to learn about Boxman's life as a teenager. I kind of want to see that.
That's the next AU episode.
And my headcanon though,
give Boxman a mini arc next. It's his turn.
My headcanon though definitely is that his parents definitely look down on him. So
yeah.
So that's probably. He definitely wants trying to gain mommy's approval, trying to gain daddy's respect or something. So, even though they might be gone, that's why he always struck me as, and that's why he embelled that to his children too, in terms of trying to gain his approval. He programmed them to be like that, to have that need for parental approval.
That's an interesting theory.
Yeah, who knows if we're ever gonna get Boxman back, more Boxman backstory than we've gotten, but we can dream.
I want to see little Boxman like a little kid, even if he just like or even if we just have like a ray gun that maybe makes him young, just to see him as a kid.
Wackier plots have happened, so I don't think that's crazy at all.
And then the children have to babysit him.
Well, speaking of babies, we get a brief look into Baby OKKO.
Yeah,
Baby
so
Unit
cute.
and Baby Rad in the crib
They're all
together.
Cute.
Oh.
That's an AU we could always go back to. Like, whenever you run out of ideas, just turn your cast into babies. That always works.
You just want to do Rugrats parodies, don't you, Alex?
Yeah, let's do that. And also just the character who facilitates this is alternate universe Warlock. He's basically just a triangle person with a gem on his forehead. I don't know. I got nothing on him, but
Eden seems to know who he is, or at least know, because she's a witch, so she knows all about that stuff. So that's cool how Eden at the end just says Warlocks. Like,
yeah,
she knows they're a nuisance.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was around and caused this mayhem.
Actually,
resulted in good character
wait, you know who he reminds me of? I just forgot. The way he talks and stuff, he kind of reminds me of Paul Lynde. So, yeah, so I wonder if that's intentional, because, being a warlock and all.
Okay.
So that's old school, though. I'm not sure how many kids get that reference who Paul Lynde is.
No.
You don't know?
No,
from Bewitched, the sitcom 1960s Bewitched. Character called Uncle Arthur. So
all right. Let's hear. Where do we want to go next? Well, but Boxman was in that episode, and he was alone, which made him a little angrier than usual, because Venomous was busy over in Rad's alien sickness. I think that Venomous and Fink in that episode is like the first time in a while they've been allowed to just be evil on their own. How did you guys feel about their appearance here?
Oh, loved it.
Yeah, same.
Oh, they were just so goofy together. I mean, it's just so cool to see them just go all out and just having so much fun.
Being evil is fun. That's that's the takeaway.
Yeah, I think that their intro is like Venomous lifting up his leg. Just being
the leg thing is so good. You guys, Venomous is so hot. Like, can we blame Boxman for loving him as much as he does? He's a beautiful man. Yeah. He's like smart and he's well dressed and he's got the cool factor, but he's also like really pretty. And like, what a guy.
There is. Yeah, Alex, you go first.
Well, I was just saying, he's got a lot of swagger in this episode.
Yes!
There is an internet, theory going around the internet that, that Venomous is KO's uncle, so we'll see that where it comes to pass.
Is that related to Venomous's shadow figure?
But... Yeah, that he is Laser Blast's, evil twin, and now the Laser Blast went evil, they're both just the same, and...
Why? It's the only reason you think that because they're both purple and they both have the same voice actor. I mean, those aren't two things that would.
Hey, I thought my theory. It's not my theory. I just online. I've been all YouTube videos. Some people are posting that theory. That's I'm just a messenger here. So
okay,
that was my personal theory.
Okay.
So you don't endorse this theory then, Steve?
Not really. Yeah, I need to see more evidence.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. If you want wacky theories, I got my wacky theories, but I'll take credit for those.
Okay. Yeah, we know you take credit when things go right, so you will let us know.
I did theorize. Was on this show? No, never mind. I'm not sure.
Anyways, Venomous uses some kind of poison situation to get Rad sick, and Rad, an important lesson to be done in this episode is even if you really feel like you can work through sickness, you should look at your health first and go home if you feel sick. So this is an important message that we all should take to heart. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourselves, people.
Right on.
That cocooning is a fascinating tidbit about him being an alien, because I forget sometimes he's not human, but he is legit an alien and he cocoons when he's sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I am the millionth bots.
Yeah. I'm glad he reached enlightenment.
Well, he said goals for himself. I mean, I can relate. Sometimes you're at work, you're bored, you want to set your own personal goals to make life more interesting. So,
yeah, I guess we like round numbers because 1 million bots is not that special, but it's a big number. So. Mm-hmm. But also in the middle, there's a good gag of KO being a nurse, and he's doing a lot of different methods to get Rad better, including at the end. There's
keeps coughing on all of them.
Yeah, Enid. I mean, Rad destroys all of it. At the end, KO is resorting to using crystals to unlock his chakras. So,
ooh.
Yeah, so really trying all the things, but Rad eventually sneezes Ernesto away, and it all gets better once he cocoons himself. So, Rad, good for Rad. Now, this is right next to KO's Health Week, which is interesting.
Yeah. It's the best episode. It's so good. I love it. It's so high on KO's Health Week.
80s cartoons, so this definitely cuts to my heart because I grew up with stuff like this. So it specifically reminds me of an episode.
How old are you?
We're talking about this.
Did we? I don't remember your age.
Well, let's just say I knew a lot. I grew up in the 20th century. Wow.
Wow.
Well, most of the shows. To be fair, though, these 80s shows were not in first run. These were rewatched in reruns.
Okay.
In the 90s. So, but specifically, the Garfield and Friends did this episode like this, which I never forget. It just the Garfield workout episode, and it had this funny ending. Whatever. So.
Michelle, I like that he mentions 80s and you're like, how old are you? He mentioned Bewitched from the 60s earlier. You didn't question this.
No, because that you just see on a VHS tape from a garage sale. Your parents buy it for you. So that, makes sense.
And it's famous show. And besides, she knows how much I love witches and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's
that would be my thing.
Michelle, what was your favorite part of Health Week? Since you're
this one. Oh my god, so many good. I mean, I know we all got a lot of mileage out of the crinkly wrinkly telling the poor girl to smile. And then KO just pops out of nowhere. It's like, oh my god, crinkly wrinkly, you can't just tell people to smile. He's like, you can't. KO's like, no.
Kind of creepy.
It's so good. But also, I feel like I learned actual things. I didn't know about, if you're depressed, you should drink more water.
Yeah.
That's a great tip for life, yeah. Or when KO, honestly, it's such a good gag. I can't believe it. When KO's he's feeling really tired because he stayed up all week to prep for the health week, and he's on his computer and his eyes are all crazy, and he's slowly liking the apple because it's a healthy thing, but it's a computer image of an apple.
Right.
In the middle of the night. The juxtaposition is just so funny. It's a really good gag episode.
Well, he could also.
I was gonna say there's also the self-esteem one that made the rounds on Twitter a while ago, where Brandon is calling himself a piece of trash. It's hey, treat yourself like your best friend. You wouldn't say that to your best friend. So love yourself. And that was all very sweet and funny too. So I enjoyed that segment. Well,
I was gonna say. Apples could be healthy too, but also a Macintosh could be good too, I guess, right?
But do Macs exist in OKKO, or are these in Pear
They
brand?
exist in one of the AUs, absolutely.
Yeah. In the AU, is the skeleton? Is he human? Or is he some other kind of thing?
I think that the AU only really focused on the 6 of them. I think everyone else was supposed to be exactly the same.
But I like to think that maybe that Brandon and other guy switched.
So he's a normal human, and then Brandon's a skeleton bear.
Yeah.
How would you combine those two words? A Bellatin?
Bear Bear-Culatin. I don't know.
Skelebear.
Bear?
I mean, we don't combine human and skeleton. Why do you want to combine bear and skeleton?
Because it's not just a normal skeleton, it's a bear skeleton. You gotta make it special word.
And we didn't see any KO's teacher in this episode, since it's a lot educational episode. She could have.
KO did this on his own.
I know. Yeah. I know. It'd be cool to see him teach her a lesson in health or something. Student becomes the teacher.
Well, let's see. Also, at the end, when they're doing KO needs sleep, there's also a sequence of him beginning to hallucinate the robots.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so that's some good piece of funny animation right there. And he punches them when he wakes up, even though bots are being nice to him.
Okay, that made me mad. That seemed very out of character for KO because they were taking care of him. Why would he punch them for that? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess he's dangerous when he wakes up. But I just find it weird though that Brad.
Haven't we all had mornings where we just wake up and
I just find it weird though
that punch people? Yes, I guess that's true.
I find it weird that Rat and Enid just stood there while they took KO away. That it literally they were kidnapping him. They saw a kidnapping and they're just they trust him enough, I guess. Or they just didn't care enough. They're too tired, whatever.
Well, look, you have one special day of hiking together and you're all friends.
Yeah, see, that's why camping's so great! Going on a camping trip is something we should all do sometime because it's the best bonding experience. And the hiking just proves it, right? They all became friends.
I'm just glad that they took them back to KO's house and not to their home with Boxman. Who knew what Boxman would have done, so...
Then we could creep on Boxman's morning rituals and Oh man, can you imagine?
Just Boxman and Venomous doing yoga together.
Yeah. If Fink might dissect him. Fink might have dissected KO if he was there. So.
I mean, probably that also.
So yeah, there's a lot of good visual and other jokes in this episode, and I think that the format is just very unique in its own way, and like just diving full into educational mode makes it like not, I don't think ironically funny is the word for it, but it's just like it's funny because it's really different from what the show would usually like of how on the nose it's being in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, let's talk about, we got...
the beach one?
Yeah, okay, yeah, we haven't talked about the beach episode, and that's another one where the bots are being nice at the end there.
They died,
what stands out to you from this episode, Steve?
How robots get around here without, like... They don't wear bathing suits or nothing, so I thought it was going to be this big, like, fan service thing, at the very least.
Really? That's what you're expecting.
Raymond would love to show off his bot.
Oh, no, that's true. He totally would.
I thought he would have found some creative way but whatever. But it was a good Raymond episode in terms of we found out his rivalry with the Wave, with Evil Wave, and I like that. Yeah, like I said, it shows that he has his own, like, thing beyond his normal life of fighting the heroes and stuff. He has his own life, so good for him.
Yeah, there's that cutaway to like old footage of him, and then he had like darker skin, and that was an interesting cutaway joke there. Michelle, what about this episode stood out to you?
Okay, this is just a me thing, but I really like the baby Wave. It was so cute.
Oh, yeah.
His friends with KO put it in the moat. They got along. It was just really cute. And we watched it really late at night, so my brain like really focused on really weird stuff.
Well, I mean, it was cute.
Like, it was really cute. It's just something about it. It's just like, oh my god, this is the cutest water I've ever seen.
And like the episode ends with like KO satisfying the Wave by bringing the baby.
Okay, that got weird though, because the parent Wave like literally absorbed the baby Wave into its body. That's how they got together, and that kind of, I don't know.
Some would say that represents a mother-son relationship.
I don't know. Well, that's
how?
Because the mother wants to absorb the son.
Well, wait, what? How is that a saying?
Well, that's just how waves work, though. That's how a big wave becomes.
No, that's how waves work.
So that's how smothering parent relationships work.
Oh, okay. But the thing is, that also means, like, so is the Wave 3 different parents who are, like, poly, or they just have 3 heads? I was wondering that while I was watching.
I'm not sure. Just more of a 3-way relationship.
Maybe,
Yeah, they refer to it as a singular, as King Wavezilla, but,
I don't know, that could just be a reference to Steven Universe, like a fusion wave.
It's a fusion.
the poly grandpa of Chaos, the show.
I just want to point out there's the joke of Gar and Carol running as slow motion lifeguards.
Oh, Baywatch. That was really good.
Classic beach joke. Also, Enid is doing spiritual training, and she sees Corn God, so just a reminder that Corn is God in this universe. So yeah.
Again with Corn, like that's become such a thing here. We got put up with that with Star, and now this. I mean, what is it with Corn now?
Yeah, but at least this show's consistent. I mean, Corn has been God for
it's always been God.
Well, it's been around since like the original All That. I mean, it just what's up with Corn? I never got it. So
there's corn everywhere. A surplus of corn in this country.
Yeah.
It's just around us all the time.
Maybe it's just subliminal advertising by Big Popcorn, wanting us to eat more corn.
Oh man!
But
I'm hoping Mr. Gar's okay after what they did to him. But was he injured or something?
Corn?
Yeah, Mr. Gar. No, in the beach episode, was Mr. Gar
Well, they kicked sand in his face, and that's why Carol had to
I
take
know,
it
it's very traumatic. I'm really...
I mean, yeah, okay. Sand in your eyes is not fun. It's true.
Yeah. And speaking of Mr. Gar, the last episode we haven't talked about yet is Gar trains Punching Judy. And this stars Punching Judy, who's been a background character for a while in this show, but like I think this is the first actual episode that she's had like speaking parts in.
Wasn't this episode originally KO trains Punching Judy?
That's a joke that they do at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like KO is gonna train her, and then it's like, no, we'll take you to Gar, and then they like slap Gar's name on the title card. So that's a good visual joke there. But yeah, how do you guys feel about Punching Judy after like seeing her in like POW cards for the last like 2 years? And now she finally talks. What do you guys think?
I'll be honest. Before this episode, I had no idea who she is. So
I mean, like, I recognized her design, but I didn't know her personality or anything.
Is she like in Carol's like workout class or something?
Yeah, no, I think she might be. I think she might be one of those ladies.
I mean, that's how she might know Gar's like former name. So
that's true.
And she is a little young though to be familiar with the name Elbow. I mean, she seems like she's like an older teenager, so it just her calling it's a Gar Elbow just seemed like really something I just couldn't get my head around because you're too young.
She's talking about it as like his fighting career, so like, maybe it's like a situation where she grew up watching those matches, and so like she was a kid when Elbow was fighting. I don't know.
But Mr. Gar's like his moments of glory was after after Elbow. That's when he became like the secret guardian of the universe and all that stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a whole thing in this episode about how like Gar can't handle emotions, and so he's unable to give a pep talk and just forcing Judy to train physically. And then we have this amazing montage at the end of like KO and Judy giving Gar therapy.
Yeah,
like he's on the couch, they're doing trust falls together. Like I got a real kick out of that. Even though like it's a
that
thing
was so funny.
Yeah, it's a thing we've done with Gar a lot recently in terms of like, highlighting that he has problems expressing himself. But like this is just like very over the top, and so it got a good laugh out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Oh, and I love how at the very end we saw a Daryl cameo, even though he was not in the episode at all till the very end. I never saw him at all. He just shows up at the end, celebrating like he's their buddy. So.
Yeah, the Daryl maybe likes wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought they were gonna do a gag there with when they like just like knock him out and just throw him to like Team Rocket him. I thought like KO and Mr. Gar were gonna do something to him, and they didn't. So.
Mm-hmm. Also, this episode highlights Punching Judy's thick legs, which is characteristic of other characters in this show. But this particular episode highlights is like, oh, this is your advantage that you have thick legs, which is just interesting because like I don't know if we've ever actually done anything with like Enid's legs, for example.
Oh, I need to see. Oh, Enid should have been the one to train her. I want to see Judy Enid just have like a little. A match. Let's just see who would win. So, without magic, no magic allowed though. To be fair, Edith. So,
yeah, that might seem like more of a fair match, considering their similarities. But and Judy ends up putting on Elbow's mask. I guess this is a step towards Gar accepting his past. If we want to like attach it to like his whole arc this season, so good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those have been the 6 episodes. We've touched on like a lot of the little moments here and there in each of the episodes. So as we begin signing off here, now like this is the end of season 2, what are you most looking forward to for season 3, Steve?
The missions. I can't wait to see what kind of missions they go on.
With the trio?
Yes, the trio. And also, like, it's interesting to see what happens next time we run into Elodie. Now that she has some authority here, what will she do with her young mind now? I mean, like I said, we kind of got robbed of Mysticon and seeing what Proxima would do now. What from her experience. So
that means nothing to me. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of stuff here. I don't really have much to say except for maybe shadowy figure. I gotta know.
Shadowy figure confirmation, please.
Let's find out. Let's take off the mask. Let's see who he is. Or I'm not sure he
take down the hood. Really.
Whatever. Yeah. And if he does look like Venomous, oh my god.
I think that'd be such a weird double play. I don't really think Venomous has his hands full. He's a dad. He's a lover. He's a
you just
business. I don't think he can afford to have an alter ego.
Next season, Fink be forced to enroll in KO's school. I kind of want to see that. So, thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Michelle, what are you looking most forward to?
Shadowy figure, more Boxman. I mean, yeah, I want to see the adventures too. I honestly would like to see more characters have mini arcs the way Enid did. I think that could be nice. Like maybe Rat would be next, or maybe Boxman. But
maybe Brandon and what's his name?
In the skeleton. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I would be excited to see continuing down the Boxman Venomous road, seeing like how they continue to fit into like villainy together. I'd like to see. I would like to see like the crew teaming up with Point a little bit more.
Yeah,
like Point is good. That seems like an interesting dynamic to explore, and like more Carol and Gar stuff. Like and now they're like fully on together, not hiding stuff anymore. Like that'd be fun to see too. So
for some reason I could see more easier to at least get Venomous to team up with us, at least just for help against a common enemy than Boxman. I think Boxman is just so stubborn and crazy that no matter what, even if it benefits him, he is not going to be good even for one day. So,
but what if like the kids all joined forces with?
Yeah, they could. I'm saying Boxman's the only one. I just think he's just too set in his way, too stubborn. Yeah,
probably. But so we are going to be here for OKKO season 3 because it's been a fun show to talk about, and
it could be the final season. I've heard rumors.
It could be. We don't know for sure, but whatever OKKO we get left will be. Hopefully, it will keep as consistently fun as these recent batches have been, and like that's something I want to like stress too. Like these episodes, even though like they all, like I've said, like they all have bits and pieces, but like they've been consistently funny, and I think that's like what the show wants to be, and that the show is fun is just always a good time when like there's new episodes out.
Hasn't really been a bad episode except for the furry one, perhaps. So
I mean, the furry one's not even bad. It just makes you a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and mostly because like it's like canon, and it's implied that they're always wearing suits now because they're animals underneath. But even that's like a really interesting idea, and it sticks in your brain. So if nothing, this show is very memorable.
Yeah, like it's just like the show will experiment in a lot of different directions, and that was one of them.
Like let's not be skeletons episode. That's one I'm never gonna forget. So
yeah.
or like this week we had the Health Week episode and the AU episode. It's like those are just very unique episodes that we'll probably think about later.
Yeah.
So until we have more OKKO to talk about, you can find out the info on this podcast and other shows we cover at overlyanimated.com. You can join us on Discord if you want to chat with us about OKKO. We have a channel dedicated to the show there, as well as the other shows we cover. You can find that at overlyanimated.com/Discord. You can support us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Britt, aka Opal. Thanks to our Patreon executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Beatrice, Hugh, and Michael. Besides OKKO, we recently did a podcast on Amphibia, a new show that's debuting on Disney. We have a Summer Camp Island, which Cartoon Network released new episodes of recently. And we'll be covering other shows that air in the summertime, since we have no clue when OKKO is coming back, but know that there's a lot of animated shows lined up for whatever time we need to fill between today and the next OKKO episode. So feel free to check out all the other shows that we cover here at Overly Animated. But yeah, so thanks for following us throughout seasons 1 and 2 of OKKO. We'll be back to talk about season 3 whenever that comes. But until then, we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.